Hello, Abdin.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, but I think it's working.
Okay, good. Good to see you.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Yeah,
Either.
man. That is nice. How have you been?
Well, very busy these days.
Yeah, like me. Working a lot?
Too much, more than I would like.
Yeah, that's the life of engineers.
Yeah. I think I'm getting tired to be an engineer.
Yeah, man.
I think change with other things, maybe retire, I don't know.
You're too young to retire.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think so. But I'm not so young. Be sure about it.
Okay. Young in the spirit.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about polyglot things.
Sure, yeah, let's start.
I, I've been seeing so much things interesting about the polyglot clubs, polyglot groups, and things about that. I found a group on Instagram on Belo Horizonte. They seem to be doing an amazing job, and I seen so many things on Meetup.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there are many groups in the whole country, right? It's not only the one in Guyana. We are part of a larger group. So I think we are in basically every single region of the we are not in every state, but every region has at least one or two polyglot clubs in Brazil. Yeah. And each one of them, they have different activities, different management, and different just styles of organizing meetings.
yeah, they don't have a rule. I think that it's something new, but it's
Yep.
exploding. And I think that yours, it's the biggest one, right? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I don't know. I think the ones in the Northeast are larger, especially the one in Fortaleza. Because Fortaleza, the Polyglot Club in Fortaleza was the first one, the very first one. I think they started in 2013, so almost 10 years ago. And they have like a large, very large community. Yeah. The one in Natal too. But sometimes we have lots of people, like 50 people in one meeting, which is wild for me. But I'm not sure if we're the largest.
Wow, you are telling me so many things new that I didn't know
You
about.
didn't know? Yeah,
Yeah, I
see?
didn't know
Lots of things.
that I didn't know that it started in Fortaleza. I didn't know that have a very huge group in Fortaleza.
Yeah.
Uh, I know the group of Natal because I'm on their I'm included on their WhatsApp.
Hmm.
So, but I couldn't attend a meeting there yet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a little bit far from us.
Yes, yes, that's true. I just I don't remember how I met it on the first time, but it was in Brasilia when I was living there. I really try to remember how I heard about that. I,
Hmm.
I also don't remember how I found out Meetup, this kind of thing. I think that, sorry, it was with Steve.
Okay.
I think Steve, when we tried to do something in Goiânia, and with Steve Capano, I met Steve told me about Meetup. I think
Hmm.
with Meetup, I found the polyglot groups in Brasilia.
Hmm.
That it's the same of yours, right?
Yes. Yeah. We are part of the same same group. Yeah, the same the Polyglot Club Brazil.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Uh, I would like you first tell me about polyglot groups because I attended so much, but I never knew about their history.
Yeah, yeah. I will try to give you a little background. Based on what I know, I don't know like the whole thing, but you know Jurubola, right? Jurubola is our master, the one who, the mastermind behind the Polyglot Club in Brazil. But our club is based on the club in from France. There's a Polyglot Club in France, from Paris, and I think they started like back in 2003 to 2003. And I remember him telling me, Jurubola, like that he was with his friends in Fortaleza, maybe, and saying, "Oh, it would be really nice to go there to Paris and talk to those guys, you know, like practice languages like French, Italian, English, and whatever." And then they're like, "Okay, we don't have to go there. We can start our own group here." So they had this idea. Okay, let's do it. Like they were in college at the time, and they knew some people who could speak other languages, at least English, you know, and maybe French and other languages. So they started like setting up meetings inside the school, and then that went out of the school. They invited like other people from the city as well. And Jurubola, he took like this sabbatical year, I think, and he started like traveling around the country, around Brazil, and spreading this idea. So he went to many like different cities, including Goiânia, Brasilia, São Paulo, Rio, and he just looked for people who wanted to, who shared the same vision of like bringing people together to practice languages and without charging anyone. So it's like 100% free. So he was like looking for these people who could host meetings in these cities. In Goiânia, he came, I believe, 2015. So there were a few meetings for about a year, not many, but then the group kind of died out because the organizer didn't have time. I'm not sure what happened at the time. And then after I found out about the group, and Patricia, she's also the host, one of the hosts, and Diane, we decided like to bring the group back to life in 2017. So since 2017, we've been having meetings constantly, at least once a month, except for this time during the pandemic, we went online, but outside that, we've had meetings once a month since 2017.
Yeah, that's amazing. I didn't know this history.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially me that spent so much time with Brazil, and I just didn't know what's behind the background. I didn't know anything about that. I just was there, just enjoy the meetings.
Yeah.
And tell me about you, for example, your background. I know you spend time abroad, and how did you get interested about languages?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm a civil engineer. I've always had taken courses in this area, in the civil engineering area, construction field. And I went twice to the United States because I got 2 different scholarships there. So I spent 2 years in total, not consecutive years, because I went once, stayed a year, came back to Brazil, 2 years here, then got another scholarship and went there. One time in Massachusetts and the second time in California. 1 year in each part.
Which courses did you do there?
It's like a sandwich course. So I was taking classes here in the university in Brazil, and then I went to the US. I took a few classes there in the construction field, and then I came back to Brazil and finished college here. I don't have like degrees from 2 different universities, only the Brazilian one, but I did take some classes there, and I was able to use them towards my degree here. Yeah. So all of them, not all of them, because I took German there. It's not like an engineering class, but most of them were engineering related. Yeah. So when I came back, obviously I was in the US speaking English with everyone, and like I was immersed in the English language. And when I came back to Brazil, I missed speaking, you know, and talking to people in English. The only thing I could do was watch movies and series, listen to music, but I was missing the speaking part. So I went online, I went to Google and looked for English groups in Goiânia. And that's where I found Meetup, you know, the app or the website. And then there I didn't find the Polyglot club first. I found Patricia's group. Patricia, she's also one of the hosts, as I said before. And she was organizing meetings for English practice here. So she had her own group, English Conversation. So I first joined her group before joining the Polyglot Club. The love of languages, I guess, when I was in school, like high school, I didn't like English at all. I hated because I think I had bad teachers, only verb to be. It was only when I went to the US and I really learned the language, how to express myself and understand other people, that I kind of fell in love with the language, you know. And not only English, but also German, because I had many German friends in college. Not many, a few of them, and I met many Germans also in the US, and I started like learning German because of them, I think, yeah.
But you start to learn German in US, right?
It was in Brazil. It was before going, well, because I went twice to the US. It was like between those two times. I started here because I had a friend or a couple of friends who came to Goiânia on a scholarship. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I think I might want to learn this hard language. And I also wanted to do like something in Germany, like maybe a master's, study something, which, I mean, I went to study German there, but never anything related to engineering. So.
And how did you learn German here? What did you do?
Yeah, I went to, what's it called? It's a language school in the South District. I forgot, Casa de Cultura e Idiomas, that's the school. So I think you know him, right? Peter?
Yes, I know him.
Yeah.
He had been my teacher, but not German, English.
English teacher, yeah. I think he taught many languages in the school there. But yeah, he was my teacher. There were only 2 German teachers there, and I had classes with him. He was super nice. I learned a lot. But you know, like when you're in learning a language in Brazil and you don't really have anyone to talk to, and at the time I didn't know about the Polyglot Club. I didn't learn much. I didn't develop a lot. It was only when I went to Germany that I kind of like learned more, you know, and improved. But because I'm still not practicing a lot, I'm forgetting a lot of things. So yeah, my German is not so good as my English. Not as good as my English.
And in which cities have you been in Germany?
Oh, I stayed mainly in Berlin. That was where I was taking the German classes. But I also visited Frankfurt, Düsseldorf, what else? Bayreuth, which is a small city, Munich, Köln, Cologne. I'm saying like the German way.
Düsseldorf, very close, right?
Yeah, they're very close, yeah. I actually arrived in Düsseldorf. I stayed a few days there with a few friends. I visited Cologne from there. Then I went to Berlin, and from Berlin, like every time I got the chance on weekends, I would go to a different city to you know, to visit and see some of the friends, the German friends that I met in the US.
But you just went once to Germany or many times?
Only once. I wish I can go back there, but I only went once.
And how much time did you spend there?
A month and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, about like 45 days.
This 1 month and a half, do you communicate the whole time in Germany or?
Oh, no. No, that was the thing, because I could speak English well, and everybody else there, all the other international students were also studying German. they were either native English native speakers or other like guys from, I don't know, from South America, and they all could speak English very well. And so most of the time we spoke English, and German was like mainly during class, and of course when I went out. But here's a funny thing. Of course, I don't look like German. I don't look German at all. So every time I would go to a store, maybe the mall or, you know, whatever place, people would look at me and like, okay, he's a foreigner. And then they would start the conversation in English already. So it was very rare that I would speak German. Of course, I would try to speak German with them, but then my German was like kind of bad. So they would get impatient and then switch to English. But I think after a month that I was there, I was getting more comfortable. I was learning more, and then yeah, it was easier for me to communicate. But then it was already time for me to come back. So I wish I had stayed for at least 6 months. That would be amazing. I think even better than a month and a half.
Yeah, and all the places that you had been in Germany, everyone speaking English. Or did you find
Everyone.
some places that the people don't speak English?
I think I went to this small city. I can't remember the name. It was like a friend of mine's, like my friend's mom lived there, so he took me there to see her house. So we went to a few places, and I noticed that most people, I mean, maybe they could speak English, but I don't know. I think they were only speaking German. And but those big cities, Berlin is a very like international city. You know, it doesn't even feel like Germany when you're there. Everybody speaks English. There are lots of foreigners, lots of international people, and it feels like New York, for example. So of course there were Germans that spoke English, German, but most people would speak English. Even like the subways, the stores, the restaurants.
Yeah, and for example, today, if you go to a polyglot meeting like yours, do you prefer to stay in the English group or in the
Mm.
German group?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's a
Uh,
good
yeah,
that's a good question. I mean, which language do you prefer to practice?
yeah. Well, here's the thing. I feel a lot more comfortable speaking English,
Hmm.
and I prefer. It is easier for me to stay in a group where everybody is speaking English, and then German. It's like the first few sentences. Hi, how are you? What's your name? What do you do? That's very easy. But then when it starts to get more complicated, like a more deep conversation, then I have so much difficulty. And then I'm like, no, let's switch to English, back to English. But sometimes there's a friend of mine who comes to Goiânia. I don't know if he does not speak any English or if he pretends he doesn't, but we try to speak only in German. And man, it's hard. I feel like I need to think about so many things before saying anything simple because the grammar is so complicated, the endings of the words. I choose now just to ignore that and I say it wrong. I don't care as long as I'm trying to get my message across. But yeah, I feel more comfortable with English than German. But sometimes I gotta, yeah, practice German and try, just embarrass myself a little bit.
Yes, but maybe, for example, you're so comfortable in English that not so fun to speak in English, much more challenger, right? Speak, join a Germany group, right?
It is more challenging. Yeah, it is more challenging. But I love English. I really love English. I tell everyone, like everyone who knows me, they know that I follow the news and I watch podcasts on YouTube. I watch movies and series, everything in English. I even, you know, like you work with AutoCAD. So AutoCAD is a software for drawing, right? For
Yeah.
designing and engineering. And every time I have some difficulty and I can't find like, oh, how can I fix this problem? I search in English and there's a lot more content in English than in Portuguese. So I really love English. Yeah. Even though I'm comfortable speaking it, it's not, I don't find it boring during the meetings. I actually love it. I enjoy it so much.
Yes, English is like word language. So, for example, you need a content, maybe you just YouTube, you can find tons of content, and there are people of other countries that they just record their videos in English, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's much easier to find information. And sometimes even like the news, I read the news in Portuguese and I see stuff that it's just a copy from some international newspaper, you know? Like it first appears in some other language, like in the country where the whatever happened, and then they kind of like translate, they don't even change anything. So yeah, English is like if you know English, you can go anywhere, you can yeah, find anything.
Yeah.
Guten
Not ex-
Abend, Caio Freitas. Someone is saying good evening in German.
right, right. Yeah, my German is zero, but I'm thinking about learning not German, but Dutch. I told you before, right?
Oh, come on, man.
My idea.
I think it's a bad idea. I think you should learn German.
Yeah, but I think I should finish my Mandarin
Yeah, that
before
too.
thinking about the language, because I'm in the middle of the way.
I wonder
But
which one is more difficult. Which one is harder, Mandarin or German? Like, because Mandarin you need to learn all those different characters, and I mean, I look at them, they look all the same and all different. I don't know at the same time, and kind of it looks like it's really hard to draw them.
I think Mandarin is much easier than English, and
Hmm.
probably much more easier than German because the language is too simple.
Hmm.
The only problem that it's completely different. It's absolutely different. That everything that you learned, everything that you heard about. Uh, when I start to learn, I just didn't believe that I was studying that. I think I mean. No, it's a human being cannot communicate in this way. It's absolutely nonsense. There's something wrong what I've learned. It cannot be it. But when my first trip to China, and of course I couldn't understand a word that the people say it, but I could understand that what they are saying was exactly what I was studying. I didn't understand the meaning, but I understand that I was going in the right way.
Hmm.
So oh, it's true. It's strange, but it's true. And so many, more than a billion people communicate in this way. It's
Yeah.
something that's not logical, but work. It's like if I say, for example, the word, let's say word she. What is she? She. There are more than 50 meanings of the
Mm.
same word. So if there are more than 50 minutes, how I know which meaning I'm refer for? Because I need to get that context, I need to get the second word after she, the third word, and things like that. It doesn't work, but it works. It
Sounds
really,
very complicated.
yeah, it's not so complicated. And in China, different of other countries, nobody speaks English.
Mm.
Of course, Hong Kong is a different situation.
Yep.
Hong Kong, I had been there many times. Hong Kong, if you speak there English, you can go there and spend the rest of your life with just English. English in Hong Kong is more than enough, everyone. But when you cross the border to the mainland, the people used to call China the mainland, right? So after you cross the borders, the things are different. Of course, if you go to the big cities, you can speak English, but not every place.
Hmm.
Just the more touristic places, and you go to tourist hotel. But the people generally don't uh, don't speak English.
Yeah.
So learning was like a challenge. My first time, it's like I tried to say the words, but the beginning is very, very hard because I like it. I was alone in a hotel and just get the words and let's see. I will go alone to the drugstores and I will buy a toothbrush. I will buy things in the drugstores. I go to drugstores and the people only speak Mandarin and I will speak Mandarin with them. So I get the words in practicing more than 1 hour, just practicing that words. And when I get inside the drugstore, of course, everyone saw that I'm foreigner, and the people start to smile, not much, laughing on my face.
Really?
For shame, and when I try to say something, much worse. And the people that doesn't speak even a word in English. So it was, the beginning was very, very complicated. Yeah. The people don't help a lot.
Yeah, I imagine. I can imagine.
Yeah, so in the beginning, I really was very, very blocked. But I I had some situations that helped me you know, the first situation to help me to say something was when I got lost there on my first trip. I just met some people there, and so they invited me to go to in the city of Guangzhou. It's in the south of China. It's I think 400 kilometers from Hong Kong, very in the south of China. A very, very big city, famous. They have the Canton Fair, maybe the biggest fair of the world. And they invite me to a famous street, historical street. And I got a taxi, but the taxi took me to the wrong place. And on that time, it was 2:05. I didn't have cell phone with me.
Yeah.
I didn't have.
It was
I didn't have.
Yeah, but was it like before smartphones became this very popular? Was it before?
Before that, before smart,
Okay.
just that they have a cell phone. I didn't have, and I forgot to get the hotel card. And a guy dropped me in the wrong place, and I was in a place that nobody speaks English, and I was lost.
Oh man,
And,
that must have been scary.
yeah, but I was enjoying that fear.
You did.
I was pretty good with that fear. And I know that the only solution that I need to buy a cell phone card on that they buy the card and put the machine that doesn't exist more. You have the cell phone, and you buy a card like in snack stores and things like that. Put the card in the phone, you can make a call. So I learned it. So I was together with my dictionary and tried to learn how to say the cell phone, the phone card, like Ken Hua Ka, and every time I said, nobody understood what I said, but after the third store, the fourth store, the people start to understand what I'm saying, what I want to buy. So I felt that I was like unblock my mind and try and learn how to say in a way that they could understand. Until I could find a place that they could understand me, and I bought this telephone card. So I go to the public telephone, insert the card, and I could call to my friends. And they ask me, "Oh, where are you?" And I just looked for the streets, and everything was in Chinese.
So yeah, how can you tell?
And I say, where I am, how can I explain? So I made something really, really crazy. I just stopped a guy on the street, hold him by arm. He got very scared, and I put his phone on his ear. So then my friends were in the next block, so they came to rescue me.
Nice, yeah. I mean, wow. What a story, man. That is crazy. I don't know how I would have reacted if I were in your shoes.
Yeah, yeah, but my first time trip to China, I made something really, really dangerous. That just get out of the hotel without the hotel card. Of course, today with cell phone, we don't have this kind of problem anymore. So today is not so fun as that time. But
No, not so much adrenaline, right?
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I never encountered that kind of situation because even in Germany, because I mean everything is written in German, but you still can kind of like guess. And of course, I already spoke some German, and even if I didn't understand the whole thing, I could, guess a few things. But of course, many people speak English, so I didn't have any problems there. But I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, when I see, I don't know, pictures of the streets in China, Japan, Korea, everything is written in those like characters. And I'm like, man, it must be hard to be a foreigner, like a tourist. Maybe the touristy places, they do have English, signs in English. I don't know about that, but if you
Tourist,
go to,
they have, yes.
okay, but if you want to go to like maybe smaller cities, I don't know, then it gets
No,
tricky.
it doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the characters is not so hard. And the good things, the good thing of this language that the characters of the Chinese and Japanese are the same.
Mm.
They have the same written language because it is the East way of language is different. For example, Chinese and Japanese are completely different languages.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, uh, in Hong Kong, official language is called Cantonese.
Mm-hmm.
Chinese and Cantonese completely different, the spoken language. But the written language is the same.
Yep.
There are some difference, very small, but if you can read and can write in Chinese, you also can read the Japanese, you can read the Cantonese. Japanese are quite different because they insert new characters completely different.
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy to recognize what is new and what is old because the older are the same of Chinese. And talking about this language, Mandarin, I think, is the most simple one of
Mm-hmm.
all. They have maybe one of the hardest pronunciation, but I cannot affirm that. But Mandarin is known like a simplified Chinese because so they share the two, traditional Chinese and the simplified Chinese. So you get the Taiwan language, the Taiwanese and the Cantonese and Japanese, they use the traditional Chinese. The difference that the drawing, the characters you're drawing is a much complex drawing. But you can recognize. And that kind of drawing is something so fun, right? It's
Yeah, I
like
mean,
it's easy because you have some basic characters. You have some basic ones that you know the meaning, and they create new characters. Just join the basic. So if you learn the basic, maybe you have one character you join two, three, four, five. The most important thing that everything that written must be in a perfect square, completely
mm,
square. The same height, the same width, right?
yeah.
And maybe, that character, I don't know what it means, but I know that inside there is this one, I know the meaning, that one, I know the meaning, so you can like
Mm-hmm.
imagine what's the meaning. So,
So you can guess the meaning by the context, right?
yes, exactly.
I mean, I
And
feel that's true for any language. Even in Portuguese, sometimes people are saying stuff like so fast, and I'm like, I didn't get the word, but of course, by the context, you can guess what the person is saying, right?
But the biggest difference, for example, when you see a word that you never, in Portuguese or in English, that you never seen before, you don't know the meaning, but you know the pronunciation, right? In Chinese is the opposite, because you don't know the pronunciation, but you can guess the meaning.
That's different. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the difference, because you can recognize the root characters that are in the middle of it.
Interesting.
And the grammar is very, very simple. There is no articles, no preposition, no flexion. So the grammar is, the pronunciation is just one tone, and so it's very, very simple. In the opposite of English, they don't have rules. They not break the rules like English do that all the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
In my opinion, Mandarin is one of the easiest language that I learned.
Yeah.
And of course, for me, speaking Mandarin is very, very fun. I had a situation that I also was alone in a city called Nanjing. Nanjing, nobody knows so much, but it was very known in the past because Nan means south, Bay north. So like Nanjing, Jing is like capital or biggest city or main city. So Nanjing like the capital of the south, Beijing the capital of the north. But Beijing just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and Nanjing just disappear in front of Beijing. But when I was there, for me to have fun, the thing that I prefer to do is just go to the market and try to communicate with people to negotiate things with them and talking just Mandarin. And when I try to go, let's go to touristic places, and when there are the Chinese old structures and things like that, for me, nothing like that have fun. For me, fun is just try to talk with people. And when someone tries to talk something in English with me, I just run away.
Really?
Yeah, because I was there just
to practice Mandarin.
Yeah, practice Mandarin, and of course, who tried to talk English with me speak much less than me, and I'm not interested in that kind of things, right? I just
so they wanted to practice English with you, and you were avoiding them because you wanted to practice Chinese or Mandarin.
Exactly. That's really not nice of me, but
yeah.
I just want to get my time, and so I just look for the people who really doesn't speak any word in English.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good way to get to know the people and the culture. Because sometimes I see people going abroad, they travel for a few days, like 5 days. They do not speak the language from the country where they're going to. And they come with all those opinions and like, oh, the people are such and such. But they never spoke to the people, especially in their native language. They only went to the touristy places, and then they have this idea, which might be a misleading idea, I think. Because when you go to the smaller cities where the actual people are not the tourists, and people that are kind of like trying to sell stuff to tourists, then that's when you really get to know the culture, in smaller cities, and you speak their language and you hear their stories. So what you do, I think it's amazing. Yeah, go to talk to people who cannot speak a different language other than Mandarin. That's what I should have done in Germany. And that's what I want to do next time I go there.
Yeah, you need to find a place, right?
Yeah.
I think you should search for small cities, right?
Yeah.
Try that.
Yes, I actually got an invitation from one of my friends. He lives in a village, a small village, and I'm sure not many people there speak English. So it's on my list of places that I want to go. visit in Germany, and I will do exactly like you do.
Yes, when I used to travel, the favorite place that I like to go are the pubs.
Mhm.
Especially because the pubs is a place that where you can have connection with much more people, right?
Yeah.
And I never go to a table. I always stay in the counter,
Mm.
just to try to communicate with the people besides me. And, here in Brazil, I don't know why, we don't have the culture of the counter, right?
Yeah.
Everyone just in their own tables, just I go with someone else, and so I just spend all the time with somewhere else, and then just go away. You never met something new. Uh,
Exactly. Yeah.
Abroad is quite different, not so much different, but you have the option of the counter if you want, right? Here in Brazil,
Mhm.
it's hard to find the option of the counter. On the polyglot meetings, right? You have this
Yeah.
option. You hang out with just meeting people. You
Yeah.
don't.
That's what I
But
was gonna say. Yeah, that's when you were saying whenever we have meetings in restaurants and we have a table, so you kind of you're stuck with the person in front of you and the person next to you, and it's kind of like rude if you're okay, let me get up and go talk to someone else, because then people around you are gonna think that you disliked them or something. And whenever we go to parks, it's very free. Like you walk around, you talk to people, they form very naturally like different circles with different languages. And it isn't awkward to get up and go, okay, let me go to that group and maybe practice some Italian, for example, or even the same language, but like different people. It's a good thing when we do the meetings in the parks.
yes, I think you are damn right.
Yeah.
I could figure out that with my experience in my meetings in Brazil, that I lived 2 years in Brazil in 2016 until 2018. And I used to attend the North Wing meeting because it was close to my place and it was the biggest one. There is just one, they put all the tables together in a single line and they put a lot of flags. The meeting is about 30 to 40 people, used to be at least three languages. I don't know why German was the second language. I don't know why
German.
people love German so much, but German
Yeah.
was the second language after English. So was English, German, French, Spanish used to be the fourth language, believe it or
The
not.
fourth. Yeah.
And it's a single line. But for example, I went there to talk in English. It's a matter of luck because, like I said, if I sit in a place, oh, that there are people that I sit in a place in a very long table, so I just could talk with someone who is in front of me or besides me. So if they have almost the same level of English and me or things like that, I was lucky. But if not, it's like I said, it would be rude if you just stand back and look for other place. And
But I'm sure you did it.
I did it, but
I mean, I know you. I know you did it.
yes, apart, I'm not so polite. But but uh, but the consequence of that act is especially the people with more fluency or more advanced level, they just stop to go
Mm,
because for who are beginners, learners, or also intermediate levels, of course, they want to speak with people better than them, of course, because they will be learning. But I know that there are people who, like you like to talk with people who are more basic level, but there are many people who doesn't have so much patience. Even me, I don't have so much patience. But
yeah.
but these people, right, who have more advanced and more fluence level, they never complain because it would be unpolite to complain, something like that. They just stop to go.
Mm.
And you can see the level of the language just fell down a lot. And when you see the meeting, most of the people are beginners. Sometimes you have some English teachers that goes there. Of course, they are looking for students, and I think it's an
Yep.
amazing way, right, for the English teacher. I
Yeah.
recommend them, right? And some English teachers go there, but the people who wanna advance talk, something like that, just stop to go because exactly what you said. When you have just one long table, right, it's complicated because a matter of luck. If you today I sit in a good place, but the other day will not be in a good place, so I just need to be there and will not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really, really agree with you. When you're a park, you have the option. You can walk around and talk a lot.
Yeah,
Uh,
I really love having the meetings at the park, especially because you don't have to spend any money on anything. And also in Guyana, many people who go to our meetings, they're broke. They're
yeah,
students. Sometimes they're only studying, they can only study at UFG, maybe they cannot like work, they don't have the time to work. So it's kind of hard like to go to a restaurant and like they have to order something to eat, whatever. And then they don't like it so much. So whenever we set the meetings at the parks, so it is much easier for everyone. Of course, some people do not like it. Some people prefer going to a restaurant, sitting at a table. But I mean, we try to mix like probably this month's meeting, we're gonna have it at a restaurant. We're deciding the place. But it's good to have like different options, you know, and then we can kind of accommodate people with different tastes.
yeah, but the meetings that attend in Brasilia, most of the people do not eat or buy anything.
Hmm.
But I know that I have talked with the host of the groups, and they told me that, for example, when they are trying to apply a new place for the meeting, they always talk with the owner and they always explain the situation. Will be a lot of people, right? And most of them will not buy anything, so they are just prepared, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I think they don't make on the weekends. They just go, for example,
Hmm.
for places during the weekdays because they know the place is empty or the place is very big and they can receive a lot of people that you know that will not make you profit. And that's true. For example, the North Wing meeting, it's beside the university UNB in Brasilia. So most of the people there are students.
Yeah, same as here.
Uh, Most of them, they just bring their own bottle of water. And it was a pizza place. But count 40 people, maybe just five buy something or drink
Yeah,
something.
it's the same thing here, the same thing. That's why, like in the very beginning, we tried going to pizza places, burger places, you know, like different restaurants. And we noticed that like that only a small amount of people would actually buy things. So we kind of got like embarrassed a little bit, you know, like to go to those places and because the owners would see like, oh, there are so many people, we're gonna make a lot of money tonight, and then only five people bought stuff, you know, and we were like, okay, we need to like change the way we do the meetings and probably move to parks, and yeah, that's what we did. But you know, once in a while we do go to those places and we talk to the owners and like, okay, there might be coming like this many people, but not everyone will buy food. Like, do you mind that? And if they say no, then it's okay.
Yes, we are discussing something that I was not worried about, but now I'm becoming worried about that because the meetings become bigger. And
Yeah, I saw last picture, last meeting, many people.
yes, and I faced the situation for the first time. And I just, we went this last Saturday, we just went to Café Garoa.
Hmm.
And instead the meeting inside, I just uh, placed the meeting outside the shopping mall, and just put two tables. But the people start to show up, so I put all the tables on a line. But when Gustavo came, I saw that he just sit in a very bad position in the corner,
Hmm.
and I thought I need to do something. So we just make like a crazy arrangement with the tables. We put the tables in the shape of a star. So
Okay.
we could find a place that everyone could talk with everyone in a way.
Yeah.
But I know that if there are more people than that, it would not be possible.
Hmm.
So we start to face the situation.
Yeah, you gotta start looking for bigger places with more tables, yeah, so you can host, you can have many people around you.
Yeah, the problem is that more places, not exactly more tables, but how would I place these tables and things like that.
Yeah, it's always complicated. That's why I love going to the parks again. I'm becoming
Yeah,
repetitive, but usually, like last time, we tried to form like this big circle. So we set the cloth and the towels on the floor, and we were sitting down, sort of like in a circle. And I was like in the middle of the circle for some reason. But like gradually, people started forming like smaller circles, you know, because then you're like, oh, you're talking to someone next to you and the other person, so someone else comes. And then it's just very natural and spontaneous. You don't need to really worry about how to set the tables and the chairs because everyone is sitting on the floor, and it's just spontaneous how the circles form.
yes, and I think it's perfect for a meeting like yours because your meeting is much bigger, and there are much more people and speak different languages. So of
Yeah,
course, the people who speak different language cannot be together.
yeah,
They must they must be separated.
yeah. But usually, I think even though we're open to any language, we focus mainly in English. Most people speak English. But
Yeah,
different from Brasilia, the second most spoken language is usually French in Guyana. It's like English is the first one, and then French, and then I'd say Spanish, sometimes Italian, sometimes German, and that's about it.
yes. I don't know why Germany is the second language. I will not say in Brazil, but I would say in the middle of the North Wind.
Hmm. I
But
must go
there
there then.
so many people talk Germany there that
Yeah.
they make a they make a meeting only in Germany for only
Hmm.
German people. For example, they have the meeting on Wednesday. Let's make a Germany meeting, extra meeting on Thursday. And I saw their meeting on Thursday. They're just cross nearby on Thursday, and the table was full. So many people speaking just Germany that
Wow.
wow.
Yeah. I was able to do that once. Like, I think we were maybe eight, maybe 10 people, which is a lot for German. A meaning that we're speaking exclusive, like German exclusively. But I had to talk to people like individually, like, oh, let's set a meeting for this day. Are you available? Are you available? So I talked to every person, and then they all came. But when I tried just set the meeting, and I posted, I think it was a Meetup and Facebook at the time, without confirming with anyone, no one showed up. I was by myself, and it was rainy too. I think that was probably the reason, but no one showed up. I usually, for German, I need to call people who I know can speak German, and then if they confirm, then there's a meeting. If no one confirms, there's no meeting.
Oh, I think the thing is that we live in a very big city, more than 1 million inhabitants. But I think there are so many people that speak Germany, English that we don't know. Maybe Mandarin. I cannot.
Yeah.
Even in Brazil, I couldn't talk Mandarin with no one.
Yeah,
But maybe because so many people will speak other languages and never heard about us, and maybe people that doesn't know that existed this kind of thing, and they would be craving to things like that.
exactly. Yeah,
I think that's the idea because if it could spread like we are doing now, the job that we are doing now, spread
yeah,
more people would show up, and you could make your meet in
yeah.
Germany.
Yeah, that's our objective. Yeah, it's just hard to find people, and most people don't know that these groups exist. Usually, when there's someone new coming to the meeting, they're like, "Oh wow, this is so amazing! Like I didn't know anything about it." And I mean, we're not the only ones here. There are other groups in Guyana too. Even like before the pandemic, I knew about like 4 or 5 different groups that were meeting regularly. I don't know like about right now. I think it's probably only our 2 groups. Maybe English Brazil too. I'm not sure. But before the pandemic, yeah, many groups and people just don't know about it. And they are so surprised when I tell them, yo, no, ours is not the only one. There are this group, that group, the other group. They're like, oh, really? I didn't know. It's just, I don't know, hard to reach them.
And I don't know if you know, but Brasilia they have this kind of meetings every day of the week.
Wow, every day.
Yes,
But they probably
yeah.
have many volunteers to help. Here we have that problem with volunteers. Not many people want to help, but they sometimes they don't help.
Yeah. The problem of the host, right?
Yeah.
But, do you know something? The North Wing meeting was something so big. Many times I did that without know who is the host,
Yeah.
and it seemed that kind that meeting that survive alone. I think
Nice.
that the North Wing meeting they don't need to announce, they don't need to do anything.
People just show up.
That they just show up when they want to go. They
Hmm.
just be there the time they want to stay. If they want to buy something, they buy themselves. One of don't want to buy, and just seems to be alive. They don't need anything. They seem they don't need a host. They don't need anything. They go to the tables. They see the tables with the flags, right? And the table is always in the same place. They see the flags. They just sit. And of course, most of the people know. For example, I know that the left corner English, in the middle German, and in the right corner French. But when there come up people to speak Spanish after the French language, something like that.
Yeah.
It's alive. Doesn't need host. Doesn't need anything.
That is super nice. Yeah. I would love that our group became like that big and then we could just announce it and people would show up and even if we were not there, would still be people going.
Yeah, you wouldn't need to look for a host. You don't need to look for
Yeah.
just let it go alone. I
Yeah.
hope that one day we could do could that happen for us.
Yeah.
When Rebecca, all right, will be the first meeting of Rebecca on this Thursday, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Let's
so
see.
this Thursday. She set a meeting for this Thursday.
Yes, this Thursday.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
No, I think that I did the first announcement on Meetup for the city of Santa Maria because I didn't find anything yet on the city of Santa Maria.
Yeah.
But Meetup will not help so much because if Meetup didn't have something yet until in Santa Maria, probably the people there don't know Meetup.
Yeah.
I'm
I
trying
mean,
to
I think
start.
it's helpful because at least for me, I didn't know about Meetup either, but I found Patricia's group on Meetup. The thing is, when you search on Google groups for English conversation in this city, then Meetup comes up as one of the results. So even though people do not know about Meetup, it will still come out in the results if they search on Google, and that's how many people find it. You know, because there might they might get results from Meetup, from Facebook, even though Facebook is kind of dead now. But I still announce it like in all of those platforms.
Yes, on Facebook. There are Jonathan from England. They found us on Facebook.
Yeah.
And we have the wrong impression. We have the impression that Instagram reach more people than Facebook, but it's the opposite. I
Yeah.
know they are almost the same today, right? They work together,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I'm focused. My greatest focus now is on Instagram, but I need to
Yeah.
create
Yeah, I
the
think it
account.
changed. Yeah, Instagram is has become more popular now, and at least there's more interaction in Instagram on Instagram. I think whenever I
Yes.
post stuff on Facebook, not much anymore. In the beginning, there used to be more people would send messages asking about the location and like if it was okay, because some people are like, oh, my English is not so good, can I still go? I cannot speak so well. I'm like, of course, just come. So like on Facebook it would be more common, but now it's more on Instagram and sometimes even on WhatsApp. They get, I put my number somewhere and then people reach me, they text me on WhatsApp. And yeah.
Yes, I think I also insert my WhatsApp on that. I didn't do it yet. Yeah. And
Hmm.
I'm doing the site, right? And if you already have a new schedule, give it to me. I put it in the site,
Oh,
and
sure.
I also talk with the people from Brazil,
Hmm.
also to set them in the group.
Nice.
Not not the polyglot group of Brazil. There is a people, I think, in Bell Tower in
Oh,
Guará.
that's a nice
I think,
name.
yeah, yeah, that's a very, very small group. But I think it's nice to have the talk with these small groups leaders.
Yeah, yeah. So like combining, joining forces, and then you'll become stronger.
Yes, yes, and it's good because I think that the city win with that. We make it, we make our city much more attractive with this kind of. Can you imagine you go to if you go? I didn't go to anything in Toronto with Meetup, but I saw when I was in Toronto there are so many English preps in Toronto. That was crazy. I saw so many meetings of English preps in Toronto because I was there. Toronto already speak English. Why
Yeah,
English
why do you need a
in the same Sydney? In same Sydney. So many meetings, English preps in Sydney. And when I was Sydney, I decided to attend one meeting, like Chinese preps.
Hmm.
And I saw the meetup, and I didn't get contact with anyone. I just got it meetup, and I just confirm on meetup, get the time and get the location, and I want it was a Chinese neighborhood in Sydney, like every place in the world they have a Chinese neighborhood. I think only Guyana does have a Chinese neighborhood, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there is and we don't know about it.
Yeah,
But I
but
don't think I don't think so.
so there is like a Chinese shopping center with Chinese stuff the first floor and the Chinese food in the second floor. So they meet on the second floor.
Hmm.
It's a very simple shopping center. The people were there, but it was not good for me because I thought that I would meet Australian people trying to talk, to learn talk in Mandarin. But I found the opposite. I just felt Chinese people want to learn English.
Mm. So
So
they tricked you.
yeah. It's complicated. It's complicated. So many Chinese people they are living there and they are English so bad, but they are craving to learn English.
Yeah. You said something really interesting about having all these groups that makes the city more attractive. And I had like some foreigners telling me exactly that because they would come to Guyana and they didn't know anyone, they didn't have any friends, and they heard about the club, the Polyglot Club, and then they went and like everyone could speak English and then they could talk to, other people. Because maybe like most of these people they couldn't speak any Portuguese. like Saif, for example, from Bangladesh, you know him. So in the beginning, he couldn't speak any Portuguese, so he was basically, he could only speak to his family, his wife and his kids. But then after he found the club, and then he met all these people, all these new people that could speak English, he could like kind of get out a little bit of his small bubble, you know, and he just loved it. And I had other foreigners saying the same thing, like, oh, this is such a nice group. Then I can talk to other people other than my husband or wife, you know. And it is a good thing, like for the city, a good attraction, let's say.
Yeah, that's the amazing attraction. You imagine you can go to a place, and for example, in your case, Park Lamboyant is a very beautiful place.
It is.
So you go to a tourist place, a sightseeing place, and where you can talk, where you have the opportunity to talk with so many different people.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about attending to Toronto meetings, but it was lazy of me because the meetings unfortunately was in a place so far away from where I was. But I should have go, but next time for sure.
Yeah, you're always traveling. I'm sure you're gonna have other opportunities.
For sure, for sure. Explore more. I'm not sure about what's the competitors of Meetup, but maybe there are others.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I only know about in Canada. I think I heard about this Mundolingo group. I saw some because I think Diane, she went, and I think she was the one who told me about it. They have this Mundolingo, which is large. It's a large group as well.
Mundolingo, I never heard about.
Yeah, then you might find them on Instagram.
For you.
Yeah. And it's also another thing I should say, making friends. Like if anyone watches this later or watching right now that's never been to the meetings, I mean, I made actual friends in the meetings, you know, some great people, great people that go there. It's usually, you hear like those different stories, those different experiences, people from different backgrounds. And it's a diverse group, I think. And because it's so open, you know, it's really nice to hear those different stories and meet these different people, you know. So yeah, it's an opportunity to make new friends. Like, I mean, like you, we met through the Polyglot Club, right? I consider you my friend, and not only you, like the other guys from your group and some other people, yeah, from my group. Yeah, it's really nice.
Especially people with a common interest, like speaking other languages, other languages, maybe something you become a kind of addicted for them.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll go to the meeting and you already have at least one thing common with everybody in the meeting, which is the love or at least the will to practice the language, a foreign language.
Actually, for example, in Brazil, I didn't go to practice so much because the English level there, the meeting at the end was much lower than me, different from here. Our group here, the English level is very high. Here, really can learn something, but in Brazil I cannot. But even so, that feeling that I'm not like that, I just want to go because I like this kind of hangout. I like to talk in another language. It's like a brain teaser, right? And I like to see people like me, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a bonding connection. Interesting, like people that I would like to connect to have the same interest.
Yeah, I love it too. I definitely love it. Yeah, that's why I became a host. Because first I joined as just a member, a regular member. I wanted to go and practice, not forget my English. And then I think, yeah, when Patricia, she was moving to Canada, she didn't want her group to die. So she asked me and Diane, oh, can you please take care of my group? And then Judabola was in the city around the same time. And he was like, oh, can you take care of my group too? And then we decided to bring the groups together, and I became a host too. So I love it.
Yeah, it's running. And are you thinking about maybe make something weekly or twice a month, or just
Yeah, that would be good. No, but weekly, you mean weekly? Yours is already weekly, no?
yeah, the mine is already weekly.
Yeah. Oh, you're asking me if I'm thinking about it. Okay. If we had more, all right. If we had more volunteers, then yes, I think I would love to have more meetings, maybe weekly or at least every other week. But right now, I think once a month is okay. It's what we can handle. But I do have some other ideas, but I need volunteers. That's the thing. Because I had like ideas of going to parks and walk around the park as like a kind of physical activity, not running, because running would be hard to run and talk at the same time. People would get out of breath and that would not work. But like walking, and speaking English, that would be good. I also have an idea. That one I want to move forward with it, even without having any volunteers. I'm not sure if I told you before, but we had this idea of having a sort of like a book club, but not for books, for documentaries. So we would gather a small amount of people, find some place. We would choose a documentary to watch, and then for maybe 2 weeks later, we would discuss this documentary. Get like maybe two people to give a summary about it, and then the other people would just discuss like, I like it, I didn't like it. I give this grading. This is what I understood about the documentary. This is how we can apply to. I don't know. I mean, just talk about it like a book club, but for documentaries.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
see if people are interested.
Oh, so many options. Like we are start with the Naval SEALs Challenger, right? And we're
Yeah,
a part of it, right?
which is amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's also one of my like another passion that I have is doing physical activities. So when Danilo proposed, Henrique proposed to that, I was like, yeah, sure, like I'm definitely in. And he was amazed that everybody else also agreed.
Yeah, there are some crazy people in Brazil that they really like running and drinking beer together. I
Yeah,
think you do that, right?
that doesn't sound like very like it works. I don't know. Every time you tell me, I'm like, man, how does that work? It's weird, running and drinking.
Yeah, they said like we're a beer club, but running addicted. It's like they're introducing themselves. But I know the activity first run and drink in the end.
Okay, then that makes sense. Because if they were
Yeah,
running and drinking at the same time, I don't see how that could work.
yeah.
Maybe. Would be funny though. Yeah.
Yeah, if we record the videos, we will have a lot of content.
Yeah.
All right, sir. I
Sure.
think we already get more than an hour talk.
Yeah, man. That was a good talk. It doesn't even feel like an hour.
Yes, probably I will have some meetings. I will try to make some live um, review. I will try to make weekly, not next week because I will go to São Paulo next week. It will be a house polar exhibition. I will be there, and the next day I will bring back. I will be back. I try to make other videos with other polyglot groups, but I will try to schedule you again.
Nice. Yeah, I'd
Oh,
love to be, yeah, here. It was so good. I was very excited. It was the first time that I was like in a live like this. And
for me,
for you too. For you it's the second time. Well, we did do a live but when we wanted to announce the return of the meetings after the pandemic. I mean, we're still in the pandemic, but the return of the meetings, after like 2 years without having any meetings, and we did a live, but it was very short. Diane, Patricia, and I, and me, I don't know. So we did, it was very short, but like this with you, it's the first time, and I really enjoyed it. I think we had a really nice conversation, and I'm looking forward for the next one.
Sure, sure. So let's do it very soon. I
Sure.
will
Yeah.
be try because I try to do it weekly. So
Hmm.
that's
Sounds
very
good.
useful.
I will be always, yeah, watching.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I really appreciate. Thank you. Bye bye, Roger, and see you
Thank
soon.
you. Bye. Good night.
Good night.